Sorry, I was just curious what that NPC was called. Uh, Ooh, Pandu Lumber Mill work orders now give 30 garrison resources, right up from 20, which is good. Ooh, the Mage Tower slash Spirit Lodge now accepts Ogre Waystones as work orders, awarding Pexus Crystals and a chance to receive an item that allows instant completion of a mission that's in progress. Very useful. There's some cosmetic alterations and toy effects. Not really interested. Curious. I'm just going to check the paladins. Improved seals has been altered. Um, the haste is up to 20 from 15. The heals is 2% of maximum health every 3 seconds, up from 1% every 2. Execution sentences healing by stay of execution uh, has been increased by 100%. Uh, Final verdicts now instead of final verdict now only increases the radius of the Vine Storm by 50% rather than 100. I'll start moseying on towards the portal room. Also, I just noticed this character. Before she didn't know who you are, I think, but now she's talking about writing my legacy. So that's a nice little change. 1 second, folks. Hey, folks, and I'm back. Nothing interesting there. And flight paths. Ooh, there's a button added for characters in the middle of a flight that want to get off at the next known flight point. Two mailboxes have been added to Nagrand, and the Dragonwood Fair has an exciting new racing event with opportunities for unique prizes. There's also new achievements in the Tonk Challenge and Ring Toss. Khadgar is now gone from the capital cities, so that's handy. It's kind of weird how it keep dismounting you every so often. Apparently, the Ashmall pearls and ghost truffles have been removed, and you can just buy the potions. But they haven't actually, as if you remember seeing earlier, they haven't actually moved to the NPCs wanting them. Like they'll still give you say like, could you get them for me? But they've been removed, so their cries will forever go unanswered. Uh, so I'm trying to read and pilot without looking at. Well, I'm trying to pilot without looking at screen and read while trying not to look like an idiot due to my inability to pilot. Uh, apparently the Apexis crystals, you know how they can be traded for armor? The armor they can be traded for has been improved. Rogues can get certain toys off of Grifta. I don't think I can say that right. But there's a troll that sells but items that are like, oh, it can help you jump, or like, but it'll be written in a way that makes it sound cool, but it just helps you jump, which you don't actually need. It provides no benefit. Um, Let me rephrase that. Basically, it'll, in a fanciful way, it'll claim it can help you jump, which no one needs, so it's basically a useless item. Um, he sells things to rogues now. He also does something about dingy iron coins. It's it's a rogue thing. I really don't know much about it. And apparently you can get replica belts for Bloodguard and Knight Lieutenant. They're PvP things. They've been added to complete visual sets that were previously incomplete for transmogrification. These items are sold by vendors who sell the rest of the set. Tinny Smalls and Crixel Pinch Whistle at Area 52 in Netherstorm. All apparently trinkets from Draenor rares are now disenchantable. Previously they weren't. You couldn't do so. Apparently, a lot of a couple of main hand weapons used to be well are now one handed, so they work better with transmogrification. I seem to have read past it. I was hoping to find out if to provide any information, but it wouldn't be in the patch notes, would it? I'm an idiot, but at least I got to read out some interesting things. Ooh, there's some books here. I'll read them to you. If you're not interested, feel free to skip. Hey folks, and I'm back. Just something's bothering me and it's really fucking distracting. Uh, prefer not to talk about it, prefer just to forget about it, if you get me. Bounty. I can't spell. So, I just keep fingering the keys. If you don't know what that means or if I'm using it incorrectly, basically instead of hitting the keys correctly, what I end up hitting is like the key next to them or somewhere nearby, which doesn't help in the slightest. Apparently, the bag will contain a Soulbound Epic, item level 45 to 665. Sorry, item level 445 or six. Let me start it third time. It will have an epic with an item level of 645 or 655 armor token that can be used to create armor appropriate for your class and spec. Person opened 2 bags and received grandiose leggings from one and grandiose shoulder spalders from another. Hmm. That is very good to know. Basically, it's a bit of nice gear. I was personally hoping they'll give legendary stones. Just purely, I need more. But well. Ooh, don't fall down there. I won't die, but it's a pain. Actually, I don't have to run very far. Normally, when I fall down there previously, it was much further to go. There's actually a achievement if you fish something up here. I'll toss my line in for a bit. There's also one in Orgrimmar, uh, an Orcish version. It's in the Valley of Wisdom, if memory serves. You have to fish something up there. It's got a pretty low drop rate. I would presume. I don't know the actual stats, but it would make sense, wouldn't it? It would be kind of strange if he caught it first try. I don't know. I don't know, and don't think fishing level helps in any way. If it did, then I should have caught it by now. I'm many times over what fishing would have been for um, that time. Oh, he's a pet Murloc with a tiny little fishing rod. Ugh, I can't speak. Flash love. Flash hat. Adorable. So anyway, there's random books around WoW, where if you read them, you get a bit more lore about the world and whatnot. Like civil war in the Plaguelands. Ner'zhul, the Lich King, knew that his time was short. Imprisoned within the Frozen Throne, he suspected that Kil'jaeden would send his agents to destroy him. The damage caused by Illidan's spell had ruptured the Frozen Throne. Thus, the Lich King was losing his power daily. Despite himself, desperate to save himself, he called his greatest mortal servant to his side, the Dead Knight, Prince Arthas, to give more information. Kil'jaeden sent Illidan, who had failed previously in a task, to kill the Lich King. Illidan tried to do so by casting a spell in Lordaeron that was rather powerful. It was actually so powerful that Malfurion believed that it would actually, if he completed it, destroy the world. Or severely rend it. He would fuck shit up. What was that? Okay, I'm just going to presume it was a player. Just going to keep it angled like that. So, for a level in Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, you have to stop Illidan. And you're on a time limit. Which is going to be so fun when I get to it on hard mode. It's because it's not like you survive 30 minutes. No, it's build an army, survive attacks, and get somewhere in 30 minutes. And by get somewhere, we mean kill Illidan in 30 minutes. Not great. One second, actually. Hey, folks, and I'm back. Those powers were drained by the Lich King's weakness. Yeah, you lose a level per each level you go on, you lose. You play as Arthas, you actually lose a level. It doesn't drain over time. You start off weaker from the start. By the time you reach the final level, Arthas is level 3, and as he loses levels, he loses abilities. So like you end up really weak by the end, and are expected to take on 3 heroes. It's doable, but I had supreme difficulty doing it on normal. I just had to enter cheats that allow me to one-shot everyone. You're also on a time limit on that level. You have to stop Illidan from activating 4 things. Arthas had been involved in the civil war in Lordaeron, after the Standing Undead forces led by the Banshee Sylvanas Windrunner. She had repossessed her body, her dead body at the time. Staged a coup for control over the Undead Empire. She launched a poison arrow at him. That hurt him, but killed Kel'Thuzad arrived and scared her off. Arthas, called by the Lich King, was forced to leave the Scourge in the hands of his lieutenant Kel'Thuzad as the war escalated throughout the Plaguelands. Ultimately, Sylvanas and a rebel undead, known as the Forsaken, claimed the ruined capital city of Lordaeron as their own. Constructing their own bastion beneath the wrecked city, the Forsaken vowed to defeat the Scourge and drive Kel'Thuzad and his minions from the land. Weakened but determined to save his master, Arthas reached Norrend only to find Illidan's Naga and Blood Elves waiting for him. He and his Nubian allies raced against Illidan's forces to reach Icecrown Glacier and defend the Frozen Throne. The Alliance of Lordaeron. Lord Lothar rallied the remnants of Azeroth's armies after defeat at Stormwind Keep, and then launched a massive exodus across the sea to the northern kingdom of Lordaeron. Convinced that the Horde would overcome all of humanity if left unchecked, the leaders of the seven human nations met and agreed to unite in what will become known as the Alliance of Lordaeron. For the first time in nearly 3,000 years, the desperate nation. Oh no, it's not desperate, it's. Let me scooch a little closer. Disparate? I don't know the word. I think to put another word on it, it means separated or some to that effect. Maybe more extremely separated, fragmented. I can't think of a good word for it, but yeah. Judging by context, they weren't united. Were once again united under a common banner. Appointed as supreme commander of the Alliance forces, Lord Lothar prepared his armies for the coming of the Horde. Sorry, all I can think is Bow Chicka Bow Wow. Sorry. Hey, you're watching me, what do you expect? Aided by his lieutenants, oh god, I'm thinking of a parody of the World of Warcraft, and it's something you would expect from Olaf. Which isn't a bad thing, but now I kind of want to see it as an Olaf comic. Aided by his lieutenants Uthar the Lightbringer, Admiral Dalen Proudmoore, and Turluian. I don't actually know how to pronounce that, and I want to say I recognize it, but I'm not sure. Lothar was able to convince Lordaeron's demi-human races. That's an older term for like non-human, like say if you're playing Shadowrun, meta-humans. It's basically like elves, dwarves, gnomes. Though gnomes weren't in Warcraft 3. It was just the dwarves. The dwarves were the ones with the tanks and the gyrocopters. To demi-human races of the impeding threat as well. The Alliance succeeded in gaining the support of the stoic dwarves of Ironforge and a small number of high elves of Quintalis, Cael'Dalas. The elves, led at that time by Anastarian Sunstrider, were largely uninterested in the coming conflict. However, they were duty-bound to aid Lothar because he was the last descendant of the Arathi bloodline, which had aided the elves in ages past. Always handy to have, ancient bloodlines flowing through you so you can call in favors. Yeah, hey, I need to borrow £5. Could, my bloodline count, so I can borrow it off you? My bloodline says I'm good for it. Weirdest use of it ever, but it will be most hilarious use. The Horde, now led by War Chief Doomhammer, brought in ogres from its homeworld of Draenor and conscripted the disenfranchised Amani forest trolls into its fold. Setting out on a massive campaign to overrun the dwarven kingdom of Khazmodan and the southern reaches of Lordaeron. The Horde effortlessly decimated all opposition. They divided by 10. Actually, no, that's incorrect. Basically, what I was trying to reference poorly there was with the Romans, they had a policy of decimation, where if there was a mutiny within the military, every 1 out of 10 soldiers were killed. So if there's 100 troops, 10 of them would die. It was a method of telling the troops, don't fuck with us. Damn it, I just realized I'm out of coke here. Soon enough, I'm sorry if you could hear the doggy in the background. Soon enough, I'll be upstairs. I was upstairs earlier, but I had to move this back down because the internet was shit up there. So I couldn't even load web pages half the time. It was terrible. I need to get an airport. It could boost the signal or something. It may help with the internet. If not, at least back my internet up. Back my internet up? No, back my Mac up. Like I said, sometimes I stick in the wrong word because I lose my train of thought. The epic battles of the Second War raged from massive-scale naval skirmishes, large-scale naval skirmishes, to massive aerial dogfights. Which is weird in a fantasy game. Somehow the Horde had unearthed a powerful artifact known as the Demon Soul and used it to enslave the ancient dragon queen, Alexstrasza. Threatening to destroy her precious eggs, the Horde forced Alexstrasza to send her grown children to war. The noble red dragons were forced to fight for the Horde, and fight they did. The war raged across the continents of Khazmodan, Lordaeron, and Azeroth itself. As part of its northern campaign, the Horde succeeded in burning down the borderlands of Caldalas, thereby ensuring the elves' final commitment to the Alliance's cause. The greater cities and townships of Lordaeron were razed and devastated by the conflict. Despite the absence of reinforcements and overwhelming odds, Lothar and his allies succeeded in holding their enemies at bay. However, during the final days of the Second War, and as the Horde's victory over the Alliance seemed almost assured, a terrible feud erupted between the two most powerful orcs in Azeroth. As Doomhammer prepared his final assault against the capital city of Lordaeron, an assault that would have crushed the last remnants of the Alliance. Sorry, notice comment. Brolaf of the Airy Peak said, "Any girls about? Message me." Sure, mate, I'll drop you a line. Gul'dan and his followers abandoned their posts and set out to sea. The bewildered Doomhammer, having lost nearly half of his standing forces to Gul'dan's treachery, was forced to pull back and forsake his greatest chance at victory over the Alliance. The power-hungry Gul'dan, obsessed with attaining godhood itself, set out on a desperate search for the undersea tomb of Sargeras, which, during the first campaign of the Frozen Throne, which is the Night Elf campaign, the Frozen Throne is the expansion to Warcraft 3, you actually go there and find an orb of shadows that was held by Gul'dan, and you, as you gather more bits, it becomes more powerful and it becomes pretty useful. Sadly, the final level, it's done in such a way you can't actually give it to Illidan, because that will mean he could carry it over to his campaign and he'll be very overpowered. But anyway, obsessed with obtaining godhood itself, set out on a desperate search for the undersea tomb of Sargeras that he believed held the secrets of ultimate power. Having already doomed his fellow orcs to becoming slaves of the Burning Legion, Gul'dan thought nothing of his supposed duty to Doomhammer. Backed by the Stormreaver and Twilight's Hammer clans, Gul'dan succeeded in raising the tomb of Sargeras from the sea floor. However, when he opened the ancient and flooded vault, he found only crazy demons awaiting him. Seeking to punish with the wayward orcs for their costly betrayal, Doomhammer sent his forces to kill Gul'dan and bring the renegades back into their fold. For his recklessness, Gul'dan was torn apart by the maddened demons he had set loose. With their leader dead, the renegade clans quickly fell before Doomhammer's enraged legions. Though the rebellion had been quelled, the Horde was unable to recoup the terrible losses it had suffered. Gul'dan's betrayal afforded the Alliance not only hope, but also time to regroup and retaliate. Lord Lothar, seeing that the Horde was refactoring from within, gathered the last of his forces and pushed Doomhammer south, back into the shattered heartland of Stormwind. There, the Alliance forces trapped the retreating Horde within the volcanic spire of Blackrock within volcanic fortress of Blackrock Spire. Although Lord Lothar fell in battle at the spire's base, his lieutenant Turalyon rallied the Alliance's forces at the 11th hour and drove the Horde back into the abysmal Swamp of Sorrows. Turalyon's forces succeeded in destroying the Dark Portal, the mystical gateway that connected the orcs to their homeworld of Draenor. Cut off from its reinforcements and fractured by infighting, the Horde finally buckled upon itself and fell before the might of the Alliance. It fell before the might of itself. The scattered orc clans quickly rounded up and placed within guarded internment camps. Although it seemed that the Horde had been defeated for good, some remained highly skeptical that the peace would last. Khadgar, now an archmage of some renown, convinced the Alliance High Command to build a fortress in Nethergard that would watch over the ruins of the Dark Portal and ensure there would be no further invasions. Khadgar, before this, had been cursed by Medivh. He was an apprentice of Medivh, and he noticed something was odd about him. And he tried to work against him because he realized he was actually possessed by Sargeras, or at least an avatar of him. No, by Sargeras himself. His mother fought an avatar of Sargeras and succeeded. She was a powerful mage, but her power didn't matter. Well, it did and it didn't. It didn't matter to the fight, but the reason she was chosen, that's why her power mattered. Because, I guess, power is hereditary. Because Sargeras kind of like planted a seed in her, or like waited, like seed of evil, and which when she got pregnant and had a kid, that seed corrupted her kid. I'm using seed not in a literal sense. It's just like there's demonic juju there, and that ended up possessing Medivh, which is why there's a dark portal on our side. He worked on building it. Medivh cursed Khadgar to basically look like a 70-year-old. So he looks much younger now. Just has white hair, that's it.